more than a century, Geneva has taken great pride in its secular ideals. The separation of religion and state has been enshrined in law since 1907. But over the past 5 years, there's been growing concern that those laws have become outdated and do not take into account the city's growing religious diversity. They've now been updated, but some groups say the new law discriminates. It bans public workers from wearing visible religious symbols when dealing with the public. Sabine Tigmunin is the only councillor in Geneva who wears a headscarf. She says she'll no longer be able to take part in public meetings, which are a vital part of her work.
I think this law was created to have control over religions and over Islam in particular. It will impact many professions because women in headscarves are currently working in childcare, as school assistants, nurses, doctors and pharmacists. These women will no longer be allowed to work. Either they will take off their headscarves or they will lose their jobs.
55% of people in Geneva voted in favour of the law. But it's not just Muslims who oppose it. Left-wing political parties, the Green Party, evangelical Christians, unions and feminist groups have all expressed concerns. But the law's chief architect says it will ensure public workers put their civic duty before their faith.
If these people feel they need to assert a right to be different as public workers, they have not understood which society they are in. Our society does not tolerate teachers with religious symbols, whether these are a large cross or a headscarf. We say to all communities, as well as Muslim communities, you are first citizens and then Muslims.
Geneva has a long history of religious reform. It's widely considered to be the birthplace of Calvinism, a branch of Protestant Christianity that gets its name from the French reformer John Calvin, who settled in the city in the 16th century. Since then, Geneva has become a melting pot of different religions and ethnicities. It's home to around 400 religious communities. 35% of the population is Roman Catholic, 10% is Protestant and 6% is Muslim. The new law has been backed by the Protestant and Roman Catholic churches. Pascal Destus is the most senior clergyman in the Catholic Church in Geneva. He doesn't agree with the ban on religious symbols, but says some new provisions will ensure religion plays a more influential role in some aspects of society.
This law brings some advantages, starting with the recognition by the state of the work of religions, for example, the work in prisons or in hospitals. For us, it's important that this law provides a framework and safeguards that allow a good cohesion and which allow peace in Geneva.
Opponents of the law have gathered around 8,000 signatures. They want to force a vote on the issue. Several legal appeals have also been launched.
This law attacks individual freedoms and basic human rights. What is important is this law was created in Geneva, but it is against the federal constitution, against universal human rights, and against the European Convention for Human Rights.
Tigmunin now plans to teach young Muslims about their rights. She says the new laws have created a gap between the state and religious communities, and she wants to bridge it. Shamim Chowdhury, The Newsmakers, Geneva.